Hi, everybody. Lovely to see everybody here today. Can everybody still see them slides? Because I've just taken control from Ellie and I just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay, fabulous. Thanks, Ellie. Okay, so welcome everybody. Just going to run through a few things, especially pertaining to the pre-CAS checks that are done. So this is post-offer, post-deposit paid type of area that we're looking at today, and the checks that need to be done before we can issue your CAS. So congratulations if you are an offer holder, so that's great news. But obviously you're going to be wanting to know what happens next. If you are holding a conditional offer, please get your documents to us so that we can update you to an unconditional offer. So that information will be on your offer letter. You should be able to see what's required. Once you hold your unconditional offer, the next step is to pay your deposit to secure your place. Once your deposit has cleared with us at the university here, that is when the pre-CAS compliance checks process begins. You will receive an email from the university that contains 2 links, lots of information, but also contains 2 links. One will be a booking link for you to book your pre-CAS interview with a member of the admissions and compliance team here. And the other link on this information is referring to where you can upload your visa finance documents to be checked by the team. Once those 2 aspects have been passed, the next step is for us to start your CAS process. You'll receive an email asking you to check all the details are correct, and once everything has been confirmed, we can issue you with your CAS. And then once you have your CAS, you'll have your unique reference number on there and all the information that you need to be able to make your student visa application. So a little bit more there about what the CAS is. So the CAS is your confirmation of acceptance of studies, and this contains a unique reference number that is it's actually issued by the UKVI. It comes through to the university and then we pass this on to you. You can't make a student visa application without this document and without that reference number that has been produced by the UKVI. And your CAS contains all the information about your course and your sponsorship details, and all information relating to the evidence that's been used by the university to make your offer and what evidence you would need to show as part of your visa application. So the pre-CAS interview. So the pre-CAS interview is it's an online interview. And it's to confirm that our student visa compliance requirements have been met. And it's conducted by Teams and with a member of the compliance team. So it's not done by any kind of AI. It is a live interview with somebody and it lasts about 20 minutes. And as previously said, you're invited to this once your deposit's been received by the university. You'll be sent an email to make your booking, so you can go on to the calendar and select a time that is suitable for you and make your booking, which will come through to us. And then at that point, when the interview time arrives, one of the team members will be there to do the pre-CAS interview with you. So please ensure you're well prepared. Think about the pre-CAS interview and try and be prepared for that. Here's what to expect. So common questions around things like your personal details, your personal background, your academic background, your employment history, any study plans and future intentions. If you've got any gaps in study, you may be asked to explain a little bit about what was happening there, and why you've got a gap in study and why you've decided to come back to studying now. You'll be asked about how you intend to fund your studies in the UK and the finances available to you, and also be asked about your accommodation plans and what research you've done into that. You may well be asked about your travel history and if you've ever applied for a visa for the UK before or any other country before, and also be asked if you hold any visa refusals. We've mentioned accommodation above, it's on there twice, just to make doubly sure. And you may also be asked about your future and your career intentions. So what do you intend to do once you complete the course that you've applied for? Once the pre-CAS interview is completed, you should receive your outcome of the interview within 48 hours. We say that as our standard turnaround time. However, during peak time, it may be slightly longer than that, especially if we're having to do lots of interviews. But we do aim to get that decision out within 48 hours. If you're successful, it is that point that your visa finance check will begin. You will be asked at that point again to provide your visa finance check documents. If you unfortunately are unsuccessful in passing the pre-CAS interview, your application would be withdrawn and any funds that you've paid to the university, a refund of them would be requested so that that money could be sent back to you. If you are unsuccessful, unfortunately, we are unable to offer a second interview. You would not be able to rebook and try again. So a little bit about the visa finance check. So you may be required to submit financial documents to show that you meet the financial requirements of a UK student visa application as set out in the UKVI regulations, UK visa and immigration regulations. So once you've passed your pre-CAS interview, you have to provide your documents to evidence that you have held the minimum required funds for a minimum of 28 days. In certain circumstances, you may be asked to provide more documents if we need to check the source of them funds, if there is any question or any query surrounding that. So we always recommend that where possible, you send bank statements for up to 3 months, just so that we have got that information there and we can definitely confirm that we're happy with where your funds have come from. Yeah, so it is really important to make sure you can explain where your money has come from, should you be asked. And it is quite possible that the UKVI will ask where money has come from. It is a focus that they have at this time. If they think that funds if they want to question where a large deposit has come from, if there is one in a bank statement, or they want to know where the money has come from that you're showing in your bank statements, they may ask for further details about where that money has come from. Another thing that the UKVI have started to do is verifying bank statements with the actual bank. So we always recommend that when you're making your visa application, you have got some official bank contact details that you can provide on official headed paper from a bank, which is hopefully not a generic email box. The reason being is quite often the UKVI will reach out to a bank, and if the only email box or telephone number they've got is a very generic one and the email is going to get lost in thousands and thousands of others, it could mean significant delays with your visa application because they won't proceed with making a decision until they've got that verification. So where possible, please try and provide a bank letter alongside your bank statement or your fixed deposit statement that holds some kind of contact details that the UKVI can reach out to and get a response from reasonably quick should they want to verify your documents. In terms of evidence that needs to be shown, so the minimum that you need to show is your tuition fees, minus your deposit and minus any scholarships or discounts that may have been applied to your circumstances, plus the UKVI maintenance amount. Now, this differs depending on which campus you would be studying at. If you're studying at the Stoke and Stafford campus, you are required to show £1,136 per month for up to 9 months. And if it is the London campus you're studying at, you would be expected to show slightly more because of the cost of living in London being higher. So that would be £1,483 per month for up to 9 months. We also expect an extra 10% on top of that minimum amount. Now, the reason for that is to cover currency fluctuations. Quite often, currencies can fluctuate up and down, and it has been known that when that has happened, when it's come to assess, when the UKVI have come to assess a person's visa finance documents, the currency has fluctuated so much that it's actually knocked them underneath the required amount. So it's really important to make sure that that 10% is also on top of there to cover you, as you wouldn't want to experience any disappointment purely because of something that's beyond your control, but would have an impact on the visa application outcome. So recommendations, as previously stated, ensure bank letters are provided on official letterhead papers and include all official contact details to avoid delays. Ensure consent letters have the contact details of the provider. So for anybody who is not using their own bank statements or own funds and are using a parent's funds, the consent letter should hold the contact details for the person consenting to you using their funds. Ensure documents not in English are translated using an official translator. Don't send any finance documents via email. Please only use the link provided. We would not assess any documents just emailed into us. We would expect them to come through the link that's sent. And ensure visa application is submitted with approved finance check documents to avoid delays or refusals. So your next steps. Check your offer letter to meet your conditions, if any. Pay your deposit. Book your pre-CAS interview. Once this has been successfully passed, you can then send your visa finance documents for checking. Once all your pre-CAS checks are done, your CAS can be issued. And once you have that CAS document with that unique number and all the details on, you can apply for your student visa. I'll pass back to you, Ellie.
Thank you very much, Ali. That was really helpful and really informative. So does anybody have any particular questions? If you do, if you can please pop them in the chat for me. And just as a reminder, please don't share any personal circumstances here in terms of student numbers or anything like that, because we are recording this session to be able to watch later on. So if you have any questions, please pop those in the chat. If you would like to use your microphone to ask a question, please pop up your hand using the raise button, and we can also do it via that way. Precious, please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, Alison.
Hi, Precious.
Precious. Yeah, I'm Precious Pepple. Yeah, I'm Precious Pepple from Nigeria. I want to ask a question as regards the Pre-CAS interview and also the financial compliance check.
Okay.
I'm actually a student under sponsorship.
Okay.
I got a fully funded scholarship with Nigeria NLNG.
Okay.
And they will be paying my full tuition fee accommodation fee, the monthly stipends, and also every other allowances that is due me. I have submitted my award letter to the international admission team at your university, and recently I've been granted access to book my Pre-CAS interview, which I've done. I booked my Pre-CAS interview and is to hold on the 29th. So right now, what I'm trying to finalize is the financial check, because my sponsorship award letter did not meet up the UKVI amount of money maintenance cost. So my sponsors are working. Yes, my sponsors are working on trying to amend the letter, which I will later forward to the university. So, but today, this morning, I got an email from my sponsors requesting that I raise an invoice from the university so they can proceed for the payment of my full tuition fee. You get, but I tried doing that. I tried doing that on the Convera platform. I was not able to do it because they needed an invoice. I will send the invoice to them, so the financial team of the organization can go ahead to make payments. But I've not been able to raise up the invoice from the Convera because they don't pay deposit. They pay the full tuition at once. So I sent an email initially to the international admission teams, copied Miriam, Michaela, and other persons that I've been working with, but I've not gotten any response. So I want to see how you can help me. I want to see how you can help me facilitate that, because there are deadlines. You get, there are deadlines to process that.
So Precious, we are aware of your individual circumstance, and at the moment what is happening is we are liaising with the finance team at the university to get your sponsorship company set up on our financial systems so we can then raise an invoice. So that is happening at the moment in the background. I do believe Mitchell sent you an email to tell you this before she went on leave. So that is where the process is at the moment. So we just need to wait for approval and completion from the finance team that they have been set, that your sponsorship has been set up, and then we can issue the invoice to you for that to be paid. Okay.
Please, I don't know how you can facilitate, because in Nigeria, this period we are in the peak period for visa application, so that I won't have any delay resuming by September.
Of course, we understand that, Precious, and obviously everybody is in the same position and we want everybody to get through as soon as possible. At the moment, it's with the finance team. They are aware of the situation and are working through it. As soon as we have an update, we will pass that on to you. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I apologize.
Also, I have.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to speak to the next person. Sorry. So if you have a question.
Okay. Also, for the Pre-CAS interview, I saw the questions, expected questions will be asked from the website, from the university website. So is there any special preparation we should make as regards that, or we should just have our hands on everything we have to check on the website about the institution and our motivations? Is there any other special thing I need to know regarding the Pre-CAS interview?
No, all I would say to you, Precious, is just make sure you're well prepared to answer questions about the course that you're coming on to, why you're coming on to that course, what your intentions are in terms of once you've completed that course. Just make sure you're able to answer them thoroughly, and the full details of the course and why you chose this particular university and why you chose the UK.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Precious. Now, I apologize if I say your name wrong. Is it Ilinka? Do you have any questions? Please go ahead with your question.
That's right.
Oh, perfect. Great. Please go ahead.
I was wondering, I'm coming to England with an Erasmus scholarship, and I was wondering during this finance check, I won't be able to hold any proof because I get my money only after I get the acceptance of studies from your university.
Yeah, okay. Where are you from, Ilinka? Sorry, what nationality are you?
I'm from Romania.
Romania. So in all fairness, Ilinka, you would not be required to undertake a visa finance check because you would meet the differentiation agreement under the UKVI rules, which is something that applies to only certain regions that the UK Visa and Immigration have agreed would not need to do a visa finance check or a pre-CAS interview. So for yourself, you wouldn't actually need to do this process.
Okay. I've got the offer, but I haven't got the confirmation of acceptance studies. So I still have to wait for that, I guess, but I don't have to do anything else.
Are you coming for a full year or just one semester?
No, just one semester.
You won't even need you don't need a confirmation of acceptance for studies either. So you would be traveling on
for my university.
You wouldn't need a CAS, you wouldn't get a CAS, you'd get a visa invitation letter because you would be expected to apply for a visitor visa at the border. So you wouldn't require a CAS to study. You wouldn't need a student visa to study. You can study on a visitor visa.
Okay.
But
I still need to get this letter or something because I only got my offer.
So what is it? I think this is something that we need to look into a little bit more because generally what happens is students from the EU don't need, they can use their offer letter as their evidence to enter the UK as a visitor with the purpose of study. We don't normally send out, even for Erasmus, we don't normally send out anything else. So I'm just wondering exactly what it is that's required for yourself that wouldn't be on the offer letter.
So I don't know if it's my problem or not, but I can't actually access the offer letter. I got the email that I got the offer letter and it got accepted, but I can't see the actual document. So I don't have the exact dates and the exact, like that I have been accepted to the university.
Okay. So I think we need to look at your situation independently. Let me just make a note. Have you emailed into us, Ilinka? Have you sent an email into us? Because I can try and find that information after this webinar and see what I can find out for you, okay?
I think to this particular email, I haven't written any mails.
Oh, okay. What I would advise that you do then is just drop an email to us explaining this situation so that I can pick that up separately. Obviously, I don't want you providing any personal details, as Ali said over the webinar, because there's other people here. So I think what you're going to have to do is send an email so that I can then pick that up. Okay.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Okay, thank you for that, and I'll look into it for you.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Okay. And Antonia, again, apologies if I said your name wrong, lovely. Please go ahead with your question.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Antonia. I'm chatting from Nigeria.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Can hear you.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I have submitted all my documents, the required documents. I had submitted it to the school since first of this month, and then I got an email on the same day saying that I will be communicated in 2 days. In 2 working days, and today is 10th. I have sent a series of mails reminding the school that I've not seen my unconditional offer now. And like the last 2 speakers said, he said that he wouldn't like to be rushing things at the 11th hour. We are in Nigeria. We know how these things work for us. So we want to see if we can beat the deadline, let it not look as if once we've entered September, we'll start rushing for one thing or the other. It's 10 days now, and I've not seen my unconditional letter, and I've submitted every other document. So I don't know. I want to know what is the issue or what is holding it back from
Again, okay.
the unconditional letter coming out.
This is difficult again because you're referring to sort of your personal circumstances, and I can't really discuss your personal circumstances over the webinar. but obviously for data protection purposes. So it's difficult for me to answer that question actually at this time. I don't know if you've sent an email into the mailbox, it will be picked up, but I can't really comment on your personal circumstances at this time.
Okay, can you now help me out with the email address of where I should channel my complaint to?
So if you want to find out what's going on with your application, it would be the it's the int-admissions@staffs.ac.uk, which I can type in the chat. I can type that email address.
I've sent them mails.
And if you send an email, just to jump in there, if you do send an email to international recruitment, if we can't support you with that, we will pass that on to the admissions team to be followed up. So please know that if you do email the one that's on the screen now, we will pass that on and escalate that where necessary. Okay.
Do you want me to type the recruitment email in, Ellie?
You're welcome to. It is still on the screen.
I have both. I have both emails, and I've sent emails to them already.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Perfect. Then you've done everything you need to do then, lovely, and we will be in touch with you. Okay. So just for the interest of time, I'm going to move on to a question from the chat before I go to the next person with their hand up. That's okay. So we have a question that is, do I need to show both my bank statement and bursary letter if I've got one, or only the bursary letter to the UKVI after getting my CAS?
So that depends on how much your bursary is for, I believe. So basically, you need to be able to show that them full fees are covered and the full maintenance requirements are covered. So if that bursary that you get doesn't cover the full tuition fees and the maintenance, you would have to show funds from elsewhere as well. And you would have to do that as part of the visa finance check before we would issue your CAS.
Perfect, thank you, Ali. And just to follow on from that, if someone's been in the UK for 2 years, do they still need to provide proof of funds or complete finance checks for a CAS?
So I'm going to assume here that this is somebody who wants to switch into a student visa who's been in the UK for 2 years and not on an and not planning on studying on an alternative visa route. No, you do not currently have to. If you've been in the UK for 12 months or more, you're not required to complete a visa finance check for your student visa application.
Lovely, thank you. So I'm going to go back to the people that have their hand raised. So Niraj, sorry, do please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. So
Hi.
This is Neeraj. I am from India and currently staying in Bangalore. And my question is is university accept the sanction letter from private bank or the national bank? Because all the study expenditures, half of the fees amount after the deposit and the expenses amount will be done by the bank. So is the sanction letter will be applicable for that?
So we do accept educational loan sanction letters, but did you mention a specific bank then? Sorry, it cut out. Did you want to know if it was acceptable from a specific bank?
Yes, it can be private bank. Actually, I'm currently applying for that.
So again, this is a really difficult one to answer without me actually going into doing a check on a specific bank, because I don't know off the top of my head all the banks.
No, I don't want any specific bank. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
I don't want to any specific bank. Just I want to know is private bank sanction letter is applicable for that?
So we do, yeah. educational loans are acceptable if they meet the UKVI regulations. They are something that is accepted for your finances. But what happens is when you send in the documents from the bank, we then have to do specific checks against that bank to ensure that they meet what the UKVI require. So it's sort of very difficult to say straight away yes or no right now, because it is dependent upon that particular bank and document meeting all the UKVI requirements. But in general, yes, an educational loan is an acceptable form of evidence for your funds for a visa finance check.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question. Suppose like my deposit amount is paid by my father. So do I need to give the proof of that deposit amount as well?
No, because what will happen is that's not taken into consideration as the funds you need to show. If you see what I mean, because that's already been received, so that'll be taken off what needs to be shown to cover the rest of the fees. So no, you don't have to show that source there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you very much. Sam, please go ahead with your question.
Okay. Good afternoon. How are you?
We're very well,
my
thank
name
you.
is-
Hope you're well.
Yeah, I'm good. My name is Sam Anama. My original home is Nigeria. Well, I'm in UK here for like 3 years now. This is 3rd year. So the questions I intend to ask, like someone asked the questions, and I think the questions have been answered because I was just trying to confirm regards to the financial document backed up and the rest. So that was what I wanted to confirm. And
okay. So
yes, and
are you switching?
Sorry.
Are you in the UK and switching to a student visa from within the UK? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm in UK here because my wife, she's here, and I'm on dependent visa. Yeah.
Oh, so are you studying on are you planning on studying as a dependent on the dependent visa, or are you looking to switch to a student visa?
I don't know. I don't know what are the clauses there and what are the setbacks, maybe switching up or not. I don't understand that. So far, I know the dependent visa is there. I think if you've been in the right positions, tell me that, because I don't know if I'm going to switch off from the dependent visa.
Okay.
What does it have any side effect? Because I have kids. I have 2 kids here too, and in the college here too, the 2 guys. So. They're above 18, so I don't know what is going to be if it's going to have a side effect or not. But I'm on the dependent visa here because she's working here, and actually I'm based in the US, but I do come here because I relocated because of them, and I'm here with them fully now. So I don't know. You will advise me if
it's very difficult.
If the dependent visa is okay, fine.
You can study you have the right to study on a dependent visa, but in terms of what you wish to do in terms of your visa and study options, unfortunately, that's something that you would need to research and make a decision on. We're not able to advise on that. It's beyond our advisory we are not regulated to give that kind of advice. So
yeah,
I can tell you that as a dependent, you can study on a dependent visa, and you can switch into a student visa in the UK from a dependent visa, but that is about as far as I can go in terms of advice.
Yeah, but on the dependent visa, I saw in there they said you can school, you can work, and I spoke with a couple of people from the school. Then they asked me what kind of visa do I have, and I told them, because when we're talking about international student or not, because of the fee, and they said,
the fee status you're concerned about, is that the question you've got, whether you would be charged as an international student or a domestic
that was
student?
a question I asked them then. Yes, I asked them. They said,
it's
still going to be under international student.
It's likely, yes. Is what without getting this is difficult because I don't want you to give away any personal details. But as a dependent, it would all depend on what the main visa holder is, what category the main visa holder is under will make the difference as to whether you are assessed as home or international. So for example, if you were on a spouse partner visa, you may possibly be able to meet the home fee, but if you are a dependent of somebody who holds a student visa or somebody that holds a skilled worker visa, then unfortunately you would be an overseas. You would be an overseas fee payer.
Okay. Yeah, we asked that couple of questions, I think, some months back, early this year.
Okay.
I think I spoke with a couple of people, ladies, I can't remember their name, 2 or 3 of them, and they do explain to me that it's going to be under international students or something payment. So I said, okay. So I think I got the offer letter, and I think 2 letters I got. So I was going to look at, because I just came in from US now. So I decided I intend coming to the campus. I told them I want to take a tour to the campus, and they said, okay, they're going to arrange that and get back to me, because I'm on the WhatsApp chat, too, with the school. So
I'm really sorry to interrupt, Anama. I'm just conscious that we're going slightly off-piste for the topic of today's webinar, and I just want to make sure we can get through everybody's questions. So if you have any further questions relating to your personal circumstance in terms of these few things that we've covered, please do drop us an email, the international recruitment email, and as I said, we can forward that on as required and support you where going forward, if that's okay, so we can move on to the next question.
That's fine, thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so just to go from a question in the chat, if that's okay, Ali. So this person has 2 different bank accounts set up for their finance check. One of their accounts is a year old and the other is a month old, but the funds are distributed across the 2 accounts. How do they have to provide 3-month bank statement for both accounts, or just the one, considering one of the accounts is a very new account?
So this is quite a difficult one. So if the account has only been opened recently and you have deposited money into that account from somewhere, you would be expected to show where that money has come from for opening that account. We understand that you can't show 3 months of bank statements for an account that has only been open for a month, but if you've dropped money into that account and it's a large deposit that's being used there to make up your funds, you should be prepared to be able to evidence and tell us where that money has come from to open that that bank account. Okay. What I will advise you is, if you are using 2 bank accounts to show your funds, you have to provide the bank statements. They must run concurrently. So what I mean by that is the 28-day period must run concurrently. Okay, so to be able to pass the visa finance check, both bank statements have to be produced on the same day. The closing balance has to be on the same date, and we have to be able to see 28 days back on both statements so that we can make sure that that 28-day period is covered concurrently across the 2 statements. I hope that makes sense. It's really quite difficult to explain, but it's really important. If you're using more than 1 bank account, they have to be printed on the same day with the closing balance on the same date so that we can count back the same period of time on both accounts to confirm that it's met the requirements. I hope that's answered the question a little bit.
And if you have any further questions relating to that, Gabriel, then you're welcome to again email us in and we can have a one-on-one meeting with you and talk through that with you if you need that as well. So yes, but thank you very much, Ali. Just before we go on to the next live questions, I just want to cover another question in the chat, which I think maybe some other people might have the same question. So it's what types of questions will be answered in the interview? So you'll see on the screen here, as Ali mentioned whilst she was giving the presentation, these are some of the common areas that you will be asked in the interview. And also when you are invited to book the interview, the link that's at the bottom of that web page, that slide there is included in the email. If you take a look on that web page, there's loads more information in terms of the level of detail that you need to go into as well. Okay, so I'm now going to go to Sanisha. Please go ahead with your question.
Hi, ma'am. It's nice meeting both of you again.
Hi there.
Hi. I just have a query, ma'am. Did you mention that there is no pre-CAS interview for a 13-month study?
There's no pre-CAS interview for if you're only coming for one semester.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Actually, mine is a 1-semester course. So
then no.
No pre-CAS because I have actually paid the deposit initially, and then I have mailed the university regarding the pre-CAS schedule. But I didn't get any response for that. But instead, I got a finance check mail that I need to hold my funds for 28 days and then provide this bank statement that I have this amount. Which they mentioned the UKVI. The period of stay, how much money I needed, and along with that, the balance tuition fees also. So I just had this doubt whether I'll be having a pre-CAS interview or not.
No, Sunisa, can I just check something with you? Sorry, I just want to double check this.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you completing, what course are you coming to complete?
For digital forensic investigation, MSc.
Okay, so that's actually a full year course. So that's not 1 semester, that's 3 semesters. So you wouldn't be transferring for that course. So everything that we've covered in this, you would be required to complete. It's not a transfer. I thought there might have been just a little bit of confusion there. So it might be a 1-year course, but over that year for a master's, you'll have 3 semesters. Alinka, that with the question earlier, is just transferring for an undergraduate course for 1 semester, not a year. And that's where it's slightly different. Is that okay? Sorry, Ali, to jump in there.
No, it's okay. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. So if you're coming for, if you require a CAS to study, then you would have to go through the pre-CAS checks. If you are if you're coming onto a course where your duration in the UK would be 6 months or less, then you would study on a visit visa and you wouldn't need a CAS.
Okay, because I have mailed regarding this scheduling for the pre-CAS, but I haven't got any reply mail for that. But instead, I've got a mail for a visa finance check. So I just had this.
So does it not say on the same email it should have the information about how to book your pre-CAS interview? Are you saying that it doesn't say that information on there?
No, actually it doesn't. They haven't mentioned that information, but directly I've got a visa finance check mail that I need to hold my funds for 28 days, and then it should not be less than the date that they have provided is 24th July. So before that,
I'm just going to jump in again. Apologies, please excuse me. So I feel like the email you're talking about is a newsletter that we sent out as an international recruitment team to make people aware of the deadlines. The letter that Alison is talking about is a letter directly to you that will have been sent once you have paid your deposit. Have you paid your deposit?
I have paid £1,000 deposit initially.
Okay, so depending on your circumstances, you should have a response to that directly which has the link to book your pre-CAS interview. The other letter that you talked about that has the deadlines is separate. So you will see that just as a note, if an email comes from the international recruitment team That is a newsletter with information for you. If it comes signed from the admissions team, so for example, it says Sean at the bottom of that letter, that is in relation to your personal circumstance. So it's a letter, an email that has that information is what you need to do to go next. Is that okay? Sorry, I could appreciate it can be slightly confusing, but if you have any questions about your personal circumstance and where you're at, and if you need your own direct information sending to you again, you can see the email on screen. Drop us an email and we can come back to you with that, or you can drop a message to me directly on Campus Connect as well, and I can sort it out that way. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sure. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Fatima, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay.
Hi. Yeah.
I'm coming from Iran, and because of the devastating situation of my country, I wasn't able to uphold the required amount of money for 3 months in one bank account in order to provide the bank statement up to 3 months. I have been holding it less than that time, and I was wondering, is there any other way I can provide proof of my finances? I am actually having sufficient funds for the 28-day time period, and the embassy in my country requires only 1 month time for upholding the money. So
so
I was wondering, yeah.
And so are you saying, just to let me clarify, are you saying that you have had to transfer money out of a previous account and put it into a new account?
Yes, and the most of the money was in cash because the situation of my country. Yes.
So you have put money, you have put a cash deposit into a new account and held that for 28 days. Okay. So what you need, and is this a newly opened account?
Yes, unfortunately.
So it's only been open for less than 3 months, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so okay, no problem. So all you need to do is when you submit your documents, you need to be able to tell us where that money has come from. So that money that you've used to open that bank account, we will want to know the source of them funds. So if you are able to provide any kind of explanation or evidence as to where that money has come from, you won't have to provide 3 months of bank statements. If it's not been open for 3 months, then you can't do that. But we would want to be sure of where that money came from to open that account. Does that make sense? So that's what you would need to tell us. You wouldn't need to provide 3 months, you just need to tell us that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Emmanuel, please ask your question.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel. I'm calling from Nigeria.
Hi.
I submitted my finance check form. I submitted all the documents required on Monday.
Okay.
So I wanted to know like a time frame of which I can expect the CAS or response.
So it's usually at least 5 working days at this particular time. This is the time when everything starts to get a lot busier, so we try and aim for that time. However, please try and give us a little bit of leeway. It's quite difficult because finance checks are also quite in depth, but we aim for 5 working days. So by the latest, I would expect early next week that you would receive something back from us regarding the initial check having been started or completed for you. Okay.
Okay, cheers, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, so just remember, everybody, that you actually have to have confirmation from us that you've passed your pre-CAS check and you've passed your pre-CAS interview, and you've passed your visa finance check. Once you've passed those, that's when you will be ready for CAS. So it's not a case of submitting your financial documents and then getting a CAS. It's actually a review and a check that has to take place, and you need to wait for that confirmation. After that point is when you get issued CAS, just if there's any confusion there in terms of the process. Submitting the finances doesn't automatically give you a CAS. You need to pass that check. Okay, so next person. Alpharet, please go ahead with your question.
My question is, I think I have put it there. I'm on a spouse visa, but I've been in the country for 8 years. I'm on a spouse visa. I'm renewing next year. Does that make me qualify for as an international student or home for me to get a home loan?
This is very difficult to answer again. Because it's a personal situation that you're referring to, and we'd have to assess your personal circumstances. There are variables to what you need to meet in terms of being able to get home fees as a domestic student. So yeah, I can't answer it. I can't give you a definitive answer now. Have you received an offer from us?
Yeah, I have received an offer.
And on your offer letter, was there a form to complete that was regarding?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So if you complete that form and return it back to us, that should give us the information that we can then start to do your fee assessment, and be able to provide you with the answer as to whether you would be eligible for home and student loan, or if you would be assessed as an overseas fee payer.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
My problem is that because I applied to different university, and this Staffordshire University was my second university. So
I see.
Does that stand for both university, or is just with one university? Because do I do both assessment? Do I fill this form on Staffordshire and like that on the other university as well?
Yeah, so each university will want to do their own check on your situation.
Okay.
Yeah, please return it, and then we can give you an answer as to where you stand. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
So I'm sorry to say, everyone, but for the interest of time, we're just going to have a chance for one more question. And then following that, if there's any questions that you haven't answered, the email on screen, you can drop us a message on there, or you can drop me a message on Campus Connect, and we'll be happy to support you there. So again, I apologize if I say your name incorrectly. Herrera, please go ahead with your question.
Hello? Oh, I can't hear you. If you're talking, I'm unable to hear you. I don't know if Ali can, but I can't hear you right now.
No, I can't hear you.
No. No.
Okay, if you can, sorry, we can't hear you, lovely. If you just, as I say, drop an email to us and we'll go from there. Dyke, quickly, if you want to go ahead with your question in the last minute of the session.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, my name is Dyke. Actually, I made a deposit of, I paid my deposit for my school fees, and I haven't received any mail or any email from Staffordshire to show that, you know, the fees have been received. But on my app, when I check, it shows that Staffordshire University has received your payment, but there is no email of such to show that, okay, because I wanted to see how I can book for my my Pre-CAS interview, because I don't even have a Pre-CAS interview date yet.
Okay.
You know, so
when did you make the payment? Sorry, when did you make the payment?
This week and last week I splitted the payment. I did 2,500, 2,000, 1,000. Like I did like splitting of the payments, 2,500 pounds, 2,000, 1,000, 1,000. Like I splitted the payments, and all this while I've been making payments since last week till now. Today is I think today is Thursday, and I haven't gotten any mail at least to show that, okay, you can.
When did you make the last payment? I know you're saying you said you did it in three parts, but when did you make the most recent?
Okay, hold on, let me check. The most recent was on the 9th of July.
Okay, that won't have cleared by now. That's the problem. So you have to be over. So once you meet that full £6,500 deposit, that will then trigger the email to go out to you. So if you only made the last payment yesterday, that probably hasn't cleared with the university yet, which will be why you've not received the next steps. As soon as we've got a full £6,500 cleared at our side, that will then trigger the deposits. That will then trigger the post-deposit email that will go to you with the information.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so immediately that happens. The next question I have is I have about £14,000 that has been in my account going to like 2 months now. And I think about £900 I kept aside for like 3 months of my rent. So would that be enough to pass the visa finance check, or do I need to still do a top up?
Again, you're talking personal circumstances here, but by the sounds of it, I would suggest that would not be enough. How much? If you've only paid 6,500, you need to bear in mind you need to pay, as we've been through on the slides, you need to be able to show a full year's tuition fees minus your deposit and minus any discounts, plus this amount of money times 9. Which I believe, if you're studying at the Stoke campus, is about £10,224. So
yes,
so you need the remainder of your tuition fees plus £10,224.
Okay.
Plus 10%.
Okay. Okay. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Dyke. Okay, so that is the end of today's session. So I do apologise if we haven't been able to get to your question. As I say, we are here to support you. So please feel free to drop us an email or me a message on Campus Connect, and we will do our best to support you as quickly as we can. Thank you ever so much, Ali, for your expertise today. And we hope everybody has a lovely rest of your day. Just as a final thing to say is we will be putting these slides and this recording on our YouTube, and we will share that with you later on. So you can watch this back if you have any other further generic questions about this. And as I say, anything else, please do get in touch. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and we will see you very soon. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy your day.